Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we like to blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. And today we're going to be diving into some really fascinating stories about how AI is impacting, well, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, from healthcare to fairy tales.
Wow.
Yeah, you sent over some really interesting articles, so let's unpack this together.
Also good.
So, one of the articles that you shared was talking about this massive investment in healthcare AI.
Okay.
Over $10 billion
Wow.
in 2024 alone. It makes you wonder, are we all going to have robot doctors soon?
Well, maybe not robot doctors, but AI is definitely changing how healthcare works.
Okay.
One of the companies that was mentioned, Keyventus, is using AI to help hospitals run more smoothly.
Okay.
Imagine if going to the ER wasn't such a chaotic waiting game.
Right.
AI could help streamline things like patient flow and make sure that resources are used effectively.
That would be a game changer.
Right.
Especially if you're the one stuck in the waiting room.
Exactly.
But what about those AI assistants I keep hearing about? Are they actually helping doctors, or is it just hype?
There's definitely a lot of buzz around AI assistants,
Yeah.
and some of them are showing real promise.
Okay.
Hippocratic AI, for example, is developing AI tools that can handle things like pre-op prep and appointment scheduling. It's like having a super efficient medical secretary who never takes a coffee break.
Okay. That actually sounds pretty helpful.
Yeah.
And what about those AI scribe tools?
Yes.
Are they as good as they claim to be? I mean, imagine if doctors could dictate their notes and have them instantly transcribed accurately.
Yeah.
That would save them so much time.
It's definitely a hot area, and some of these AI scribe tools are starting to make a difference.
Okay.
The idea is to free up doctors from all that paperwork so they can spend more time with their patients.
Oh, hey.
But it's still early days, and accuracy is key when it comes to medical records.
Of course.
Think about it. You wouldn't want an AI messing up your diagnosis or medication details, right?
Yikes, no thanks. You know what's interesting, though? The FDA has already approved hundreds of AI medical devices.
Right.
But the article mentioned that the adoption rate is surprisingly low. Why do you think that is? Is your doctor using AI because mine isn't?
That's a really good point, and it highlights one of the biggest challenges with AI in healthcare.
Okay.
The gap between the potential and the actual implementation.
Mm-hmm.
There are several factors at play here.
Okay.
First, there's the issue of trust.
Makes sense.
Doctors need to be confident that these AI tools are reliable and accurate before they're willing to integrate them into their practice.
Right. You're dealing with people's health, so you don't want to take any chances.
Exactly. And then there's the cost factor.
Yeah.
Implementing these systems can be expensive, especially for smaller practices or hospitals in under-resourced areas. So even though AI has the potential to make healthcare more efficient and accessible, there are still hurdles to overcome before it becomes mainstream.
It's almost like we're creating a two-tiered healthcare system.
Yeah.
Where those who can afford it have access to the latest AI-powered tools, and those who can't are left behind. That's a bit unsettling, to be honest.
It definitely raises some ethical questions about access and equity in healthcare, and it's something we need to be mindful of as AI continues to evolve.
Okay, so AI healthcare is facing some growing pains, but what about other areas? One of the articles you sent talked about NVIDIA,
Oh, yeah.
the company that makes those powerful graphics cards for gaming computers.
Right.
Apparently, they're dominating the AI chip world.
They are.
But now the U.S. government is getting involved and restricting who they can sell to. How does this impact someone like me who doesn't even own a fancy gaming PC?
Well, those NVIDIA chips aren't just for gaming anymore.
Right.
They're the brains behind a lot of AI applications, from the algorithms that personalize your social media feeds to the systems that power self-driving cars.
Oh, wow.
So these U.S. restrictions have a much broader impact than you might think.
Wow, I hadn't thought about it like that. So basically, whoever controls those chips has a lot of power when it comes to AI development.
Exactly. And the U.S. government is trying to maintain its lead in the global AI race by controlling the flow of these crucial components. They've essentially created a three-tier system. Imagine it like a VIP list for AI chips. Tier 1 countries get full access while others face limitations based on how much the U.S. trusts their AI development.
That's a pretty powerful move. And speaking of power moves, NVIDIA is also making a shift to Linux with its new Project Digits, which are these super powerful PCs designed for AI development.
Just in
Linux.
Yeah.
I thought they were all about the gaming crowd, which is mostly on Windows. What's up with that?
It is an interesting move.
Yeah.
It's like a chef switching from regular knives to specialized ones for a specific cuisine.
Okay.
Linux is known for its power and flexibility in AI development. So NVIDIA is signaling that they're serious about attracting professional AI developers.
So they're catering to the pros now. But back to those U.S. chip restrictions. How does this affect countries like China, which are also heavily invested in AI?
Well, China falls into a lower tier, meaning their access to the most powerful NVIDIA chips is limited. This is a significant obstacle for their AI ambitions.
So it's like a tech tug-of-war with the U.S. and China vying for dominance in the AI arena.
You could say that. And these chip restrictions are just one piece of a much larger geopolitical puzzle.
Okay, so we've got AI healthcare facing adoption challenges and NVIDIA playing chip chess on the global stage.
Right.
But now for something completely different. One of the articles you shared mentioned Elon Musk potentially buying TikTok.
What?
Where did that come from?
It was a surprising development for sure.
Yeah.
The article from TLDR mentioned that Chinese officials are considering selling TikTok's U.S. operations to Elon Musk as a way to ease tensions with the Trump administration.
Wait, seriously? That's wild. Can you imagine scrolling X-Talk instead of TikTok?
I know, right?
The memes alone would be epic. But on a serious note, why would China even consider this?
TikTok has become a political football in the U.S. with concerns about data security and Chinese influence.
Yeah.
China may see this as a strategic move to de-escalate the situation and avoid a potential ban on TikTok in the U.S.
So they're trying to appease the U.S. government and keep TikTok alive in one of its biggest markets. That's quite a gamble. But what about Elon Musk? Why would he be interested in buying TikTok?
Well, Musk has a history of making bold moves and disrupting industries.
Yeah.
He's already a major player in electric vehicles, space exploration, and social media with Twitter, or X as it's now called.
Right.
Adding TikTok to his portfolio would give him even more influence in the digital world.
It would definitely be a power move, but it would also be a huge undertaking. Imagine the challenges of integrating TikTok into his existing companies and navigating all regulatory hurdles.
Absolutely. And then there's the question of content moderation and how he would handle the platform's massive user base. It would be a high-stakes game for sure.
Okay, so AI healthcare is facing adoption challenges. NVIDIA is playing chip chess on the global stage.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk might be adding TikTok to his tech empire. It's a lot to take in. But we've got even more ground to cover, so stay tuned because we're diving into the world of AI-powered fairy tales next.
Oh, wow. It's amazing how AI is finding its way into even the most unexpected places.
Right, like fairy tales.
Yeah.
That's right. One of the articles from The Neuron talked about a company called Elf Labs that's using AI to bring classic fairy tales to life in a whole new way.
Yes, and they're not just stopping at creating a few cute AI-powered toys. They're thinking much bigger. Elf Labs has been busy securing the rights to iconic characters.
Oh, wow.
Like Snow White and Cinderella, with the goal of building a whole multimedia empire around them.
So it's not just about kids having a virtual tea party with Cinderella.
Not at all. We're talking about creating immersive experiences, interactive games, maybe even theme parks, all powered by AI. Imagine your kids being able to have a conversation with a virtual Snow White.
Wow.
Or stepping into a fairy tale world through augmented reality.
Yeah.
It's a whole new level of storytelling.
That does sound pretty magical.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, part of me wonders if it's taking something away from the traditional way we experience these stories. I mean, I grew up with books and those classic Disney movies. Will kids even need those anymore?
It's a valid question.
Yeah.
And it really gets to the heart of what AI means for our culture and how we connect with stories.
Right.
On the one hand, AI could make these classic tales even more engaging and accessible for younger generations. Imagine a personalized fairy tale that adapts to your child's interests, or an interactive storybook that comes to life before their eyes.
Okay, I have to admit, that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
But what about the potential downsides?
Well, some people worry that relying too much on AI could stifle creativity and imagination. Will kids be less likely to come up with their own stories if they're always immersed in these AI-generated worlds?
Yeah.
And what about the human element of storytelling? Part of the magic of fairy tales comes from the way they're passed down through generations.
Right.
With each retelling adding a personal touch.
That's true. There's something special about a parent reading a bedtime story to their child.
Exactly. So it's a balancing act. AI has the potential to enhance storytelling.
Yeah.
but it's important to preserve the things that make those stories meaningful in the first place.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds. But one thing's for sure, AI is shaking things up in all sorts of unexpected ways.
Speaking of shakeups, one of the articles you shared talked about how iPhone sales actually dipped after Apple released their latest AI features.
Yeah, that was surprising. You'd think people would be lining up to get their hands on the latest AI-powered gadgets.
Right.
But apparently these new features didn't wow consumers as much as Apple had hoped.
Yeah.
What happened?
It seems like there's a growing gap between the hype surrounding AI and the actual user experience. People are excited about the potential of AI, but they're also becoming more discerning.
Yeah.
They want to see tangible benefits and seamless integration.
Right.
Not just a bunch of fancy features that don't really improve their lives.
I guess that makes sense. We're all bombarded with so much tech these days that it takes something truly innovative to stand out.
Exactly. And when it comes to AI, people are starting to ask tough questions.
Like what?
Is it really making my life easier? Is it respecting my privacy?
Yeah.
Is it worth the cost?
Those are all important questions.
Yeah.
And it seems like even tech giants like Apple are feeling the pressure to deliver on their AI promises.
They definitely are. And it's not just about consumer products either. Governments around the world are starting to grapple with the implications of AI.
Oh, right.
And how to regulate its development and deployment.
One of the articles mentioned that the Biden administration is actually getting involved in shaping AI policy.
That's right. And it's not just about restricting chip sales.
Okay.
OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has actually put forward a national AI policy blueprint.
Interesting.
They're proposing nationwide policies to encourage innovation, attract investment, and ensure that AI development is done responsibly and ethically.
So they're trying to create a framework for AI that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly. And it's crucial because AI has the potential to revolutionize so many aspects of our lives, from healthcare and education to the economy and national security.
Right.
It's essential to have guidelines in place to ensure that AI is used for good and doesn't exacerbate existing inequalities or create new problems.
It's a lot to consider, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've gone from AI potentially replacing doctors, to reshaping fairy tales, to becoming a major factor in international relations and government policy.
No, it's mind-boggling.
It's clear that AI is no longer just a tech buzzword. It's a force that's shaping our world in profound ways and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future.
And the key takeaway here is that AI is not a static entity. It's constantly evolving, and how we choose to engage with it, both individually and as a society, will determine its ultimate impact.
It's like we're all on this incredible journey with AI,
Yeah.
and we're just starting to figure out where it's going to take us.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so exciting, right?
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless. And who knows what amazing AI-powered innovations we'll see in the years to come.
So you've been reading about all these AI developments, and you're probably wondering what it all means for you.
It's a lot to process, right?
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is to stay informed and engaged.
Exactly. AI is going to impact all of our lives in some way.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand what's happening and to ask questions.
And don't be afraid to be a little skeptical, too. Not everything you hear about AI is going to be revolutionary or even practical.
Right. It's like anything else in tech.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hype, and it's important to separate the substance from the noise.
Absolutely.
One thing that stood out to me in the articles you shared was how AI is becoming increasingly personalized.
Oh.
We're seeing this in healthcare with AI assistants tailored to specific medical needs,
Right.
and your entertainment with AI-powered stories that adapt to the user's preferences.
It's really fascinating.
That's a really interesting trend. And it makes sense. AI is all about data analysis and pattern recognition. So the more data it has about you, the better it can tailor its responses to your individual needs.
Precisely. And this brings up another important point, data privacy.
Right.
As AI becomes more personalized, it also becomes more reliant on our personal data.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to be mindful of what information we're sharing and how it's being used.
Okay, so we need to be informed, engaged, skeptical, and mindful of our data privacy.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think it's also important to remember that AI is still in its early stages of development.
Okay.
There's a lot of potential, but there are also a lot of unknowns.
Right.
We need to be prepared for both the opportunities and the challenges that AI will bring.
Well said. So let's end on a positive note. If you could create an AI tool to solve any problem in the world, what would it be?
That's a tough one.
I know, right?
There are so many possibilities. But if I had to choose, I think I would create an AI system that could help us combat climate change.
Wow, that's ambitious. How would it work?
It would be an AI that could analyze vast amounts of data from all over the world to identify the most effective strategies for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and adapting to the changing climate.
So it would be like a superpowered climate advisor helping us make smarter decisions about energy consumption, transportation, and resource management.
Exactly. And it would also be able to model the potential impacts of different climate policies and help us understand the long-term consequences of our actions.
That would be incredible. Imagine having an AI that could guide us towards a more sustainable future.
It's definitely a dream worth pursuing. And who knows, with the rapid pace of AI development, it might not be as far-fetched as it sounds.
Well, on that hopeful note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today, but hopefully you've gained some valuable insights into the ever-evolving world of AI.
It's been a pleasure diving into these topics with you.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Byte-Sized Tech for more fun tech discussions.